Hey everyone, welcome to Phoenix. What if today, we're bringing you an incredible new movie on what if Naruto become the legend of Death God and got Harem? Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before we begin. Let's get into the story. A Jinchuriki, or a human sacrifice, was a living medium or vessel to seal the demon or deities that wreaked havoc on Earth. There were 9 deities or demons that ever grace on this earth, known as the Tailed Beast. 9 of them were powerful on their own rights. The most powerful of them all had 9 tails, so it known as Kyuubi no Kitsune, the demon fox who held the power to create that unimaginable by mere humans. Just one unleashed one of its tails, the mountain would be crumbled into nothing, the calmest sea turned into tsunami, and the peace plain would be destroyed by earthquake. In fact, the fact that hid from human dimension, that Kyuubi no Kitsune was one of elemental spirits' guardian, the Lord of Hellfire, the guardian of fire spirits. Kyuubi no Kitsune was Enma-sama right hand. And there's no man could kill it, but that didn't mean that no man could stop it. Namikaze Minato, the yellow flash of Konoha, Yondaime no Hokage, as well as the number 3rd SSS ranked shinobi after Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama that ever grace his present in this earth, was the one and only one who could stop it from butchering his beloved people of Konoha. He, the strongest shinobi of his time, held a baby child barely 1 day old on his hand. This child was his clan head son, his elder distant relative, Namikaze Ryuichi, and his crush who happened married the man 5 years ago, Uzumaki Kushina, the last survivor of Uzu no Kuni. Namikaze Ryuichi died 5 months ago, left him the position of clan head and his wife and unborn son after assassinated by unknown man who had a lot of piercing on his face. While Namikaze Uzumaki Kushina died on childbirth, his clan members had been distinguished by the demon in front of him. If he did perform the technique, this would make the child an orphan. But he would worry about that later, since protecting the village was much more important to him than one life. Sacrificed one orphaned child would be no problem at all, right? So right yet so wrong in every way. But Namikaze Minato didn't know that he'll be fell in guilt hole after perform the technique, and that would be too late to change the present. And that was exactly what had happened. Namikaze Minato sealed the Kyuubi no Kitsune in the child's mind far from the child's conscious. A seal could be seen on the child's stomach. For the first in his life, Namikaze Minato faced the guardian of the death and souls, the Shinigami. He saw the deity wore scary white mask, the hair was white, or was it the costume? Minato's eyes darted on the Shinigami garb. The Shinigami wore plain black shinhakusho and white robe on it, not white kimono like what his parent told him. Minato opened his mouth. Shish, Shinigami's Sama. The Shinigami snorted, what a fool, using a child, and the child is your nephew nonetheless. Unforgivable yet unavoidable, since you couldn't kill the deity, even thou you payas, Shinigami, with your soul. You have to use an innocent soul to seal the deity power with its half-conscious while you sacrificed your soul to send it body back to where it belonged. Smart, but not the safest way. However, what was done is done. I have no words on it, since Tenno Kami-sama allowed you to do it and forgave your soul while blessed you with second chance as one of us. You should shame on yourself and atones your crimes as the follower of Tenno Kami-sama and Shi Kami-sama, the first Kami that Tenno Kami-sama made, as the new Shinigami. Minato's eyes widened once he saw what would happen when the child grew up. He chalked at that, his tears fell down, he eyed the child that smiled sadly. Gomenne, he whispered weakly at the crying child. He stared at the Shinigami again. I'll do what Tenno Kami-sama ordered me to, and I'll atone my crimes. The Shinigami nodded. Meet me in Sarate. My name is Yamamoto Shigekuni Genryusai. Gotei Jusantai no Shotaichu. Join our ranks, and you shall forgiven. With that, Namikaze Minato, the strongest human that ever lived in elemental dimension on his time, died. And all Konoha people were mourning for him and forgetting the real hero and maybe the one who would be the next legend and the hero that they'll need in the future. Life as a Jinchuriki was never fun. That was what slipping from young girl named Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. She faced a lot of assassination attempts since she was an infant. Thanks to the Sandaime Hokage and Jiraiya of Densetsu no Sanin, also some of faithful Anbu, she could survive the wilderness of the side of the world that she lived in. Southern district of Konohagakure no Sato, are known as the slum. The slum was reside on the southern Konoha. The neighborhoods in that place weren't that bad actually, at least that what young Naruto think. They usually helped her when she went hunting for food, whether it from the forest, river, street or trash. The people there never hate her, they were nice. They didn't hunt her down, they didn't hurt her, and they didn't destroy her home. And she appreciated that deeply. However, who she hated the most were those people from outside the slum. They often hired ninjas or missing nins to kill her. They hated her with passion. They often throw random things at her when she gone to academy. They used to beat her. The good thing was she graduated from the ninja academy on 12, and she was put in Team 7 under Hitaki Kakashi as her Junin sensei with Haruno Sakura and Uchiha Sasuke as her teammates. For the first, she thought that all of them cared about her, but in the reality, none cared about her. Her sensei ditched her to train the famous Uchiha survivor, and he sometimes helped her other teammate, Sakura, to train. But never Naruto. Despite the status that Naruto held, her sensei still saw her as nuisance. He saw her as an loudmouthed idiot. Nothing more than trash that worth no helping at all. They abandoned her, at least until that accident took place. The betrayal of the Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto promised them to take Sasuke back, and she did. Even though it took 4 years for her to finish this mission of her, she did it in the end. But the path that she walked on wasn't smooth at all. It was rough and full of pains. Literary. Ambushed from the Akatsuki, the death of Jiraiya on Nagato's hand, the destroyed Konoha, and the other shits were her dish that the Tenno Kami-sama served on her plate. She didn't complain at all, since the fox who reside in her mind was helping her. The fox told her about her human parents, human ancestors, as well as her past life right before she reincarnated as human. And God, Naruto was shocked and fainted instantly after saw it from the fox, the spirit king of fire. Kyuubi were grinned madly at her after that. Naruto still whacked the fox head after that thou. Naruto knew the truth right when she turned into 16-years-old young lady. However, she couldn't access her true power yet, since she needed to do something for Tenno Kami-sama if she wanted it back. She nodded in understanding once the fox told her about it, and she'll wait for the time. When she turned 17, she finally could restore Sasuke back. Sakura and Kakashi weren't happy at all, as well as the rest of the Rookie 9, Sand siblings, and Konoha's allies that had bond with our favorite blonde. Naruto, being the obvious one, didn't see the heated glare that her friends throw at the raven-haired man. Anyway, if you read the shinobi record at the Hokage office right now, you'll read. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. Gender: male. Age: 18. Rank: Chunin. Birthday: the 10th of October and blah, blah, blah. Nothing important. Just the usual, except one paragraph. More info. Dead in the hand of unknown shinobi that rumored it was Uchiha Sasuke but not proved yet. And recently revealed that Uzumaki Naruto was Namikaze Uzumaki Naruko, daughter of deceased Namikaze Ryuichi, clan head of Namikaze clan, and Uzumaki Kushina, survivor of Uzu no Kuni and Enbu Black Ops of Konohagakure no Sato commander. Heir of Namikaze clan and heir of Uzu no Kuni noble house, the Kuchiki clan. She was the last Kuchiki and Namikaze and Uzumaki that ever lived in this earth. This fact shocked the hell out of the Rookie 11 and their senseis, not including the Uchiha himself. All of them were crying in her funeral. Sakura almost killed the Uchiha on spot when she saw her best friend body. She was 100% sure that Sasuke killed her with Chidori right on her heart, with the villagers who hated the girl help of course. Tsunade was on rampage that day. The death of Namikaze Uzumaki, Kuchiki, Naruto happened yesterday by the way. However, all of it had been written down by the fate and destiny goddesses long time ago, and it end here. Nobody could change it, no human can. But who said that gods and or goddesses can't? Blue eyes blinked rapidly. The owner of the eyes was cursing loudly when I felt pain from her heat. Shit. The fucking chain is eating it. Great. And there's no shinigamis around. Calm down, kitten, concentrate. You're a soul right now. If you use your energy to fuss over them, it will eat your chain faster than before, you know. Shut up, Q. I know, okay. The blonde-haired girl sighed heavily. Damn it, and I'm sure that Hollow won't be too far from here after that stunt. Kyuubi nodded in her mind. Since you're dead, enemies will be attracted to your Ryotsu than your chakra. And since you cut your own chain, then your Ryotsu will be flowed through your system harshly, That will make your big ass Ryotsu spiked and open to sense by them, and they'll follow your Ryotsu scent and then eat you. You're not helping, Q, said Naruto out loud, not too happy about the fact that Hollow would eat her soon. Hey, I know, anyway, it's better for you to tone it down, you don't want them to find you, right? Naruto nodded. Hey kitten, you know what? I guess you're Ryotsu already detected by Soul Society. The blonde-haired girl raised her eyebrow elegantly, and you know because of? In her mind, she could see Kyuubi's sweat dropped. You see, there's 2 Shinigami. Well, 1 Shinigami and her apprentice to be exact, coming over her from 3 o'clock. Naruto snapped her head, damn fox, why you didn't tell me earlier? You're too busy with your cussing over Fate and certain bastard Uchiha to realize that, kitten. And damn it. You don't need to speak on the open like that. I'm in your fucking mind. Use your thought is enough for me to hear you. You don't want them send you to mental asylum, right? Whoopsie. Naruto chuckled nervously. Kyuubi sighed again. Mataku, Mendoku's na. Naruto eyed the 2 figures that slowly she could see. Naruto waved her hand happily at them. Meanwhile, with the 2 Shinigamis, a stoic teen watched his master walk while whistling beside him. His academy Shinakusho moved gently followed his steps. The master was wearing standard Shinigami captain uniform and the robe with kanji for 6 sewed on the back, as well as a white scarf around his neck, that showed him that the captain was the 6th division captain and he was a Kuchiki, at least not human. The stoic teen looks alike the man, except he wore white decorative thingy on his head, and I forgot what it was, tell me if you know what it is. He wore permanent-like frown and he had incredibly white fair skin and smooth one on that. His hair was pitch black, and his eyes just like the black hole. Father, said the teen that seems not older more than Naruto. Yes, Byakuya-kun? Asked his father, Kuchiki Kaden. Who's this person that we have to retrieve? Asked the heir of Kuchiki clan. Kaden chuckled at his son's stiffness. Someone important, Shotaichu-sama told me to treat her like a royalty. Said the black-haired teen. Father. What is it again, Byakuya-kun? Byakuya's eyes darted on the lithe figure not too far from them, sat patiently as if the figure was waiting for them while the chain that connected the soul with the body only halfway from its socket. Is it her? Kaden's head snapped toward the lithe figure. The soul in front of them raised her eyebrows elegantly. I think so. Shinigami, I presume? Asked the girl. After she saw the teen nodded for the elder one, Naruto grinned. Great then. I'm Namikaze Uzu heir. I mean, Namikaze Kuchiki Naruto. Dozo Yoroshiku. Naruto beamed happily. Byakuya and Kaden grimaced. Kuchiki? Both of you are Kuchiki, I presume? Well, yes, I was the last living Kuchiki, they known as Uzumaki, by the way, at least right after Uzu no Kuni destroyed, explained the blonde-haired girl, shrugged all the way. She was standing up then cleans herself from invincible dust. Hey, since my body already incarnated, can you consume me immediately? I don't want to become hollow nor eaten by them, by the way, said Naruto while pointed at a bunch of disgusting creatures behind Byakuya and Kaden. Byakuya glanced at the hollow then back to the girl. I don't know how you knew about neither our existence but also how we perform our duty, but I know that you do have a gut to command us, human. Ma, I did not command you, Shinigami, I just state the obvious. Beside, both of you sent here by Yamakai to protect me at all cost, right? This statement made both of them stiffed. The same thought crossed their mind. How can she know about Yamamoto Shotaichu? Moreover, she called him Yamakai. How? Just eliminate them, will ya? I don't think they will wait any longer to devour my soul, said Naruto easily. Kaden sighed. He knew that the girl, his descendant, was right. He couldn't deny her. Yamamoto Shotaichu had him to protect the girl at all cost. Fine, Byakuya, prepare for battle. Hi. Byakuya's hand stretched, palm high, then without the chant, he said, Bakuden number 61. 6 light rod prison. 6 light rod burst out from his palm, binding one of 8 hollows level 3 AN. I'm not that familiar with hollows rank, if you know, please give me their rank from low-high based on their power. Thank you. Kaden unsheathed his samurai. He used Shunpo the slashed it mercilessly. He didn't stop right there. He then used Shunpo again and massacred the other level 3 hollows. Hey, not that challenging.
Otusama, yelled Byakuya behind him. Shire, Senbon Sakura. Byakuya released his shikai, his Sakura-like blade scattered then started engulfed the poor hollows that sneaked behind his father.
Naruko whistled in amusement when she saw them fight. Jitsu wa ne, I really wanted to help them. Q. Go help them then, answered the fox lazily. Naruko rolled her eyes. Hello, Zanpakuto? Oh, right, you're not receiving him yet. Maybe I can help him to reach you. Wait. Why you didn't do this before, that damn fox, thought Naruko without Kyuubi noticing. Unknown to Naruko and the two Shinigamis, one stronger hollow sneaked on her.
Awk! Screamed Naruko when a large hand grabbed her body tightly, the claw was bruising her delicate skin. Blood dripped from her arm. Damn it, not only I have to endure my pain that killed me, I have to endure this too. She screamed frantically, earning the two Shinigami's attentions.
Naruko! Screamed Kaden. Back off Shinigami! Yelled the hollow, or I'll eat her. Damn it, Kyuubi, hurry up! Kaden gritted his teeth. Byakuya deactivate his shikai. Both of them eyed the hollow with hate. Let her go, said Kaden. Byakuya searched for chance to attack the hollow. Not a chance, Shinigami. Well, except you let us eat you instead, the hollow grinned at them.
Kaden gritted his teeth in anger. Byakuya grimaced at that. Sure, the Shotaicho told them to protect the girl at all cost, however, he didn't want to lose his current life like this too.
Hey, hee ha 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 ha. All of their eyes set on the girl who laughed like crazy. Naruko, said Kaden. What are you laughing about, girl? Asked the hollow harshly. K, you think that you can eat me? Poor hollow, I think I'll send you back to fate and destiny's hands to reincarnate then, said Naruko, grinned evilly all the way. You think you can do that? Oh, I'm sure I can, because, Kuros, an. If I'm not mistaken, it meaning is, kill them. Tell me if I'm wrong. Kurokazi. Yami no Yeba. An. Sword of Darkness. Black blades made from wind slashed the hollow into pieces. Raise. Kyuubi no Kitsune. Jigoku no Hanabi. An. Fireworks of hell. 9 fireworks like fire scattered from the sky and burned those hollows into crisps. Flashback. Holy shit. How long it takes for you to retrieve my Zanpakuto's ass here?
Shut up, brat. Be more patient. Damn him, your Zanpakuto is an annoying spirit that I ever meet. Kyuubi growled deeply. Naruko's Zanpakuto was jeering at him. That disrespectful lord of Underworld an. Underworld, where those devils and demons come from. This world is under Enma-sama's rules. After I'm free from this seal, I shall let him taste the fire of hell.
Naruko's sweat dropped mentally. Honestly, she didn't get whatever the demon fox from hell talking about. Orya. What the heck, you damned fox, disturbing my sleep. You wanted to challenge me or what? Screamed someone in her mind too. What the fuck? You wanted to die, bastard, the fox roared. Oh, now we're talking. Come on you old fox, I will not lose to old-timer like you, replied the man in all-white male priest kimono-like. His long straight black hair flowed beautifully behind him. Oh oi, what? Show some respect to your elder, you brat. Hey, what was that you old fox, Kyuubi Gigi, Q. One more word and you're dead. Who is? Come on then. Naruko twitched uncontrollably. She took a deep breath before screamed loudly in her mind. Shut the fuck up you two good-for-nothing spirits. I'm in danger here. Or you didn't realize it that I'm going to be Hollow's dessert here.
Okay, that caught both of them attentions. Kyuubi coughed nervously. Right, Naruko, meet your Zanpakuto. And you, Kyuubi pointed at the Zanpakuto, brat, that's her.
The Zanpakuto's eyes widened. She Kami-sama. Right, and you are? My deeply apologies, Haim-sama, Watashi wa, Kurokazi, Lord of Underworld, Master of Wind Spirits. Su-ka, hey, then I shall. You think it's only this brat, kitten?
Masaka, you mean, I mean that, Naruko, actually, I'm one of your Zanpakuto too, and yes, Kyuubi no Kitsune is my name. Kyuubi for short.
Naruko smirked. Oh, this would be fun had 2 Zanpakutos like them to order it around. Then she nodded before she backed to reality. ENDFLASHBACK. Well, that was anticlimactic, don't you think so, Shinigami-san? Asked Naruto, grinned at them.
Hey, Sugoi, what a powerful power, and she unlocked her Zanpakutos, 2 elemental Zanpakutos at once. Unbelievable, thought both of them at the same time. Kaden managed to calm down after the surge of power that his descendant showed to them. Are you sure you were one of our clan? 100% sure, but I guess, since, yeah, when I'm dead I'm no longer have your blood, heir. Naruto was fidgeting uncomfortably.
Kaden raised his eyebrow. What do you mean? Whether you have died or not, you're still part of Kuchiki clan, aren't you? Unless something prevent your Ryotsu become part of Kuchiki clan, that is, added Byakuya. He eyed the girl suspiciously. Naruto scratched her whiskered cheek. Yeah, something like that. I guess I'll let Yamakai explain it to you. So, anyone can open the gate, please? I don't think I want to busy myself with more hollow. I'm starving, okay. Kaden rolled his eyes before opened the gate. Byakuya still stared at the girl. Naruto smiled at Byakuya, saw this. Byakuya blushed slightly before turned his head away from the side girl. Let's go. Then the three of them left the elemental dimension.
Saraiti was a plain military of Shinigami's complex, and this made our dearest god of death bored. All white, or black, or dark blue with touch of blood red and greens here and there, but not as much as white. Somehow, this made her hand itch to repaint them. She couldn't do that of course, since like it or not, the one who made it was her. And she was white freak that time. Sometimes she regretted her action that day. Naruto sighed softly. His long untied hair flowed beautifully when she walked behind Kaden. Sometimes she glanced at the handsome young man beside her, Byakuya Kuchiki. When the said man glanced at her back, she pretended that she didn't check him out. Byakuya was cold, not blind. When he caught her eyes on him, he glanced back at her. When she stopped checking him out, being hormonal teenager soul, Byakuya blushed slightly. He admitted that the girl was attractive. She's strong, fast, full of energy, and she's shining like the sun. Total opposite from him, and he loved it. Beside, the girl could be sweet sometimes. She's also gentle and unbelievable kind-hearted.
And her smile was angelic. And her eyes were magnificent. Such eyes shouldn't be owned by mere soul. Because of that he had his suspicious that the girl wasn't ordinary person or soul. She must be special case. Byakuya blushed when Naruto found he stared at her. Naruto slowed her steps until she's side by side with the young heir. Nani? Asked the girl, titled her head cutely. The Kuchiki heir blushed slightly again before turned his head to hide his blush from the new soul. Betsuni, he murmured softly. Not in my eyes, you stared at me for as long as I remember, Byakuya-kun, said Naruto, added familiarity suffix into his name. Byakuya glared at the suffix, don't use such familiarity with me. I barely know you, so you are. Naruto scoffed before laughed mockingly at the stoic teen. Oh, but I know about all of you, thank you very much. This caught Byakuya's interest. How come? The girl smirked at him. I have my secret, however you'll know eventually. Since I was a Kuchiki, Yamakai is surely going to tell you later. Now it was Byakuya turn to scowl. At least, can't you show respect toward our superior? Naruto laughed merrily. She loved to annoy this young gentleman beside her, that the question, who is the superior to who? With that, Naruto left the young teen watched her dumbly. She glomped at the Kuchiki clan head happily while chats animatedly with him. Byakuya face palmed, because his father also talked with the girl animatedly and stupidly. Kami-sama, why I have a goofball as a father. And equal one as my relative. He cried silently in his mind. Miles away up there, the Tenno Kami-sama chuckled slightly, alongside with Kami-sama and Enma-sama in heaven. Silent regained in the Shotaiku's room, no one in the vicinity dared to move. The captains of Gote Jusantai stared at the three newcomers warily. Yamamoto Shigekuni Genryusai coughed slightly. I see, 3 of you finally came, about time too, he said softly. His eyes cracked open to see the girl who grinned at him. The captains were uneasy. The girl wasn't showing any respect towards them, moreover toward the Shotaichu. Yes, right, except these 3, please leaves this room, ordered the leader, and no buts. The other captains flinched at the tone that Shotaichu used. All of them grumbled before walked away from the room. Naruto still grinned at him while waved at the other captains, Kaden fidgeting uncomfortably because of the glares that he received from his colleagues. Once they out from their sight and closed the door, Yamamoto muttered something to his lieutenant to lock the door and told him to guard the door. No one shall interrupt this meeting. Once they were alone, Naruto grinned at Yamamoto. Hello, Yama-kai, greeted Naruto happily, waved slightly at him. Her unnaturally white Shinhakusho followed her motions. How are you? Still pissed off with my illusion?
Yamamoto grunted not so nicely at the girl, made the two Shinigami's eyes widened in surprise. Yamamoto Shigekuni Genryusai never, ever, grunted or pouted or sulked. Never, at all. Shut up, I still have grudge about it. I'm not happy at all Naru-sama, said Yamamoto.
Naruto laughed merrily. Right, I'll lift it just for this meeting, K? It will give me nightmares if I have to see you in this illusion in a long time, said Naruto while walked at the taiko before tapped the said man's forehead with his palm, release. Before the two Shinigami's eyes, Yamamoto's body blurred and changed into a very handsome man in his 28 years old with white long straight hair that tied into ponytail. He wear the same Shinhakusho like before. His face was flawless. Violet sharp eyes shone brightly, tanned skin, and he was around 178 centimeters.
Both of them gaped and their jaw dropped. Ah, finally, free alas, said Yamamoto childishly. Now, Naru-sama. Yes, asked Naruto innocently. This is the Tenno Kami-sama's words, I can't bend it, so you have to believe it and do it as he says. Yamamoto coughed. And you, Kuchiki Taiko, young Byakuya, shall swear to your family blood that both of you will not spread whatever we discuss in this room.
Hi, Shotaichu-sama, shouted both of them instantly, still gaped at the change.
Yamamoto stared at Naruto sternly. He know that she's listening. As we both know, that your memories had been revealed by Kyuubi-sama, but your power haven't back to you yet. Tenno Kami-sama told me that your power had been sealed for some time now. How to take it back? Cut Naruto. I'm getting there, Naru-sama, said Yamamoto. There are 3 requirements. First, you have to marry one of the noble clan, since your blood is coming from the royalty. Second, you have to give him grandchildren, no matter how is it, you know, adoption or not, he doesn't care how. At this, Yamamoto had to snicker when he saw Naruto blushed. And the last, you have to maintain the balance between dimensions.
Naruto raised her eyebrows elegantly. Something's up? Yamamoto shrugged. I have no idea, but one thing I know, the last one is part of your responsibility as one of the gods who rules this universe, as Shi-Kami, of course. Naruto nodded in understanding. The two Kuchiki eyes widened. Shi-Kami? Said both of them. Byakuya's head turned to her. Shi-Kami? You? Naruto rolled her eyes. Yes, I'm Shi-Kami. Then how? Asked Byakuya. Shits happens. Dark past and past sacrifices sealed my current power. The loss of power made me have to reincarnate as 3 beings. Human, soul, and the last one is become one of the gods, goddesses rank. Those 3 are the requirement from the Tenno Kami-sama for me to achieve the last rank, the gods, goddesses rank, as my last title, the death god, Shi-Kami, explained Naruto to them with seriousness that they sure never there before. Kaden gulped. So, you say that the reincarnation of the Shi-Kami-sama was one of our clan? Yes, even if I was a Kuchiki in my human life, I'm not one of you in this life. My being is purer than mere soul, even if they're nobles like you, said Naruto. That's why you said, I see, now I understand, said Kaden, nodded at her. So, who will be your husband then, Haim-sama? Asked Kaden. Since it's only both of you who knew, I plan to give Naru-sama to your hand. Kuchiki Taiko, cut Yamamoto right before Naruto could say anything in this matter. What? Yelled the two teen, Byakuya and Naruto. Byakuya knew that if Yamamoto said that, that meant he had to marry this girl. I'm not marrying this girl. I'm much older than her, beside. No way in hell I'm marrying this prick. He's as cold as that bastard. Byakuya. I'm not a prick nor like this bastard of yours. Beside he's too young for me. Silent, roared Yamamoto, stop the two quarrels. Byakuya sulked and Naruto pouted after Yamamoto roared at them. Young Byakuya,
Naru-sama age. Yes, she's much younger than you if you count it with ELEMNTAL dimension years, but in human dimension and soul society dimension, she is as old as you. But if you count it with her past life, you don't want to know. Naruko glared at him. Byakuya sighed in defeat. Fine, but if I still don't like her, this marriage will be over, deal? Asked Byakuya.
Naruko nodded in agreement. The same goes with him. Kaden and Yamamoto rolled their eyes together, even though both of them denied it. They knew that both of them attracted to each other. Sooner or later, both of them would be going out. Yeah, whatever, said Yamamoto and Kaden together. The two victims glared at each other before snapped their head away. It's been 6 months after Naruko's arrival, and there was no peace in Kuchiki residence. Not since Naruko stay under the same roof as Byakuya. Every living souls in the vicinity seldom heard the two teens shouted at each others and throw temper tantrums, as long as they didn't inflict physical harm. The council and elders just chuckled at their antics.
Today was nothing different like the other ones. They could heard the young lady of the clan shouted a lot of colorful words that could put the infamous Zaraki Kenpachi, the future 11th Division captain, not like they knew, except the Shikami herself, of course, shame. And just like the usual days, they also could hear Byakuya swore out of characteristically back at the girl.
Kaden and his wife shook their head. The council members laughed nervously. Honestly, can those two being civil for once? Asked Kaden. Is that too much asking? His wife elbowed him painfully. Hush now, love, they're young and they're in denial. Sooner or later both of them will realize their feeling. Kaden Po sulked. I mean, at least can both of them stop swearing like some uncivilized barbarian animals? They're noble for Tenno Kami-sama's sake. They shrugged, ignored the whining clan head. Hey, don't ignore me, do something. So, father, what is this meeting about? Asked his wife to her father, totally ignoring the so-called husband of hers.
Yes, this, oi, the very next day. Come on, Byakuya, accompany me to the Rokungai, please. She gave Byakuya her infamous puppy eyes technique.
No, I got my final exam today, said Byakuya. Beside, what are you doing there anyway? It's not like something interesting will happen there. Naruko pouted slightly, but you promise me that you'll accompany me today. Beside, I really have to meet this person. Hey, I forgot that I got my final exam. Okay? Can't you cancel it and change it to another day? Said Byakuya. He was somewhat feeling guilty, but he couldn't help it, since he didn't want to miss his chance to graduate from the damn academy this year. Beside, who is this that you wanted to meet? He was getting irritated by his fiancé, attitude. You'll know it later if you accompany me. Beside, I promise that I'll bring my favorite playmate. Byakuya ticked. Playmate. Naruko, honestly, what is your relationship with this person that make you really desperate to go to Rokungai? Is this person your boyfriend or what? Are you cheating on me? I'm your fucking fiancé, not some toys.
That's not what Then what do you mean? Byakuya roared at the girl out of jealousy. He didn't know why, he was so angry with this thing. He knew that Naruko nor him like each other, but it's hurt when Naruko said that. I'm your fiancé, and after we'll married in 1 freaking month and you cheating on me with random commoners from that flipped Rokungai.
Slaps. A loud slap landed on the air of Kuchiki clan cheek. The spectators were flinched. Most of them were going to stop the fight, but it seemed too late. Shadows covered Naruko's eyes, hid them from the prying eyes.
Byakuya touched his left cheek. It stung. He stared at the girl in front of him. She was breathing hard. Byakuya wanted to approach the girl, but his pride and anger kick his soft side out from option. Fine. Do what you want, I don't care. With that, Byakuya shunpo-ed away from the house. Left Naruko's tears fell from her beautiful pained blue eyes.
Her soon mother-in-law tried to calm the girl down. Naru. I'm going, said Naruko with cracked voice. She shunpo-ed just like Byakuya, but to different direction.
Kuchiki Maki, mother of Kuchiki Byakuya and wife of Kuchiki Kaden, sighed in worries. What happened? How can this terrible thing have to happen?
With Byakuya, Byakuya was angry. He was ready to massacre the unlucky hollows who dared to cross his path. His instructor, who happened was his father, shivered after saw the true power of Byakuya. Since this final test was personal test given by the Shotaichu himself, he didn't have teammates. The final test for Byakuya was in the outer 78th district of Rokungai, 4 miles away from the main town of 78th district. He had to slay hollows in this place as much as he could till the bell rang. Kaden raised his eyebrow slightly. Something's bothering you. What is it? Byakuya scowled. He didn't want to talk about it. None of your business. I'm your parent, Byakuya. Whatever happens to you is my business. Now spill it, ordered the man. It's Naruto. Yeah, answered the teen while chunked random hollow eyes with his Senbon Sakura. I heard from your mother, said the 6th Division Taiko. Byakuya flinched slightly. If you knew, why you asked?
I just wanted to know if it was true or not. Since you approved my curiosity, I think you don't have to tell me. Just tell me, why were you shouting at her like that? Tusama, she's meeting someone in this place, and she said that I'm her playmate. For Kami-sama's sake, I'm her fiancé. He yelled in frustration before slashed the poor hollows. You're jealous, deadpanned Kaden. Byakuya scowled. I'm not.
Yes, you are. I'm not jealous, Byakuya. You're being irrational. You don't even listen to her explanation, and you're admitting that you're her fiancé. You mad at her when she told you that she wanted to meet someone else with excitement other than you. That's jealousy if you asked me.
Fine, I'm jealous. Are you happy now? Nope, because you made big commotion there. Remember this, Byakuya, she's the Shikami. Even though she's not become one yet, she have half of her goddess power. With that, Kaden left his son massacred the hollows and some Manos who decide to appeared after sometimes. Son, if you can defeat all Manos here, I'll give you my permission to do whatever you want in Harem.
Fine. Unknown to them, some of the ordinary souls was walking not too far away from their place. They were the traveler from 79th district. They came from Southern Gate, and they didn't know that a lot of hollows and some Manos were there.
Byakuya frowned when he saw the Manos' concertation change to something else. What? Before he could say anything, the Manos walked away from him, then toward the commotion a mile away from the place. Byakuya's and Kaden's eyes widened. Father, I thought the place is sealed. Yes, sealed, but not the southern side, since there are hardly people coming here from that gate. Shit, don't tell me. Byakuya, stop that damn Manos this instant, shouted his father.
Gladly. Byakuya Shunpo ed to the Manos. Behind him, the other hollows were following him.
Persistent flies, he murmured slightly. Chire, Senbon Sakura. He eliminated the lower ranks hollows easily. There's Shinigami's with them, said Byakuya softly. Her eyes widened when he saw familiar figure who defend the villagers and told them to ran from the vicinity. He opened his mouth to call the person, but the hollow, who was following him, ran toward the smaller figure behind the other one. Hisana, shouted the Shinigami's one before covered the little girl from the hollow's claw. It stabbed into her stomach.
Byakuya's eyes were widened in fear and anger. Naruto, shouted Byakuya before. Chire, Senbon Sakura. Kagayoshi. Once the hollows and Manos gone, Byakuya ran toward the girl. Naruto, called him. He took Naruto to his arms, hugged the lithe woman in the process. Naruto, please, be all right.
Naruto opened her eyes slowly. Kuya. She smiled slightly. I thought, you're mad at me. Hush, Naruto, don't talk, please. We'll take you home, okay. Naruto opened her mouth to say something. Her eyes darted on the small girl beside her. Hisana, Negai.
Naruto-sama, said Hisana softly, afraid that she'll do more damage toward the girl that she considered as mother.
Byakuya knew what his fiancé want. He nodded. He won't deny his fiancé ever again. He was afraid that he'll miss the girl again like some minutes ago. I'll take her with me. Father is here, he can help. Just live, K. Naruto smiled before darkness came. Fires surround the palace. Bodies of death angels scattered on the ground, as well as the spirits. Their blood covered the whiteness of the palace's tiles. A loud evil laughter rang, so cold and merciless, full of malice. The palace of heaven bathed with their residents' bloods. The holy palace turned into bloody battleground. Every lesser gods and goddess tried to slow the evil down for the upper-ups. The main gods and goddess of heaven were planning for counter-attack. The god of heaven, father of all, maker of all, or known as Tenno Kami, was not happy at all. One of his son rebelled. He could put the brat easily, but that will change the point why he let him do what he had done. He didn't care with Oni, he knew how he'll end up, but he cared with his dearest home and certain god of his. Tenno Kami already wrote every fates and destinies for all of them, and the final conclusions were on their own hand. Oni, second son of Tenno Kami, could be the heir if he choose the other path of fate and destinies, but he wasn't taking it, so here he is, surrounded by his little sisters and brothers. So? Asked the Tenno Kami-sama, eyebrows raised elegantly. His lips formed into a thin line, waiting for one of them to reply him. Kami, the one that Tenno Kami-sama had to rule the earth, gritted her teeth in furious manner. I have no idea, Chichiyu, every lesser gods and goddess are out there to buy us some time. Enma, the king of hell, sighed, I wonder, why don't Chichiyu help us with this matter? The Tenno Kami lips turned into a soft smile, right before he opened his mouth, someone cut him from afar. That's better a rhetorical question, Enma-kun, said someone who stand near the west great door, a door that connect this certain god, playroom, to the great heaven where the gods and goddess along with Tenno Kami-sama lives. Sorry I'm late, I have to find some plaything to entertain me for a while. Enma glared at the said man who just came. Kami and the other two. Tenno Kami-sama smiled at him, oh, you found some apprentice, I see. The man nodded slightly, his long blonde hair followed his elegant movement. Back to the matter at hand, Chichiyu of course can't help you, I mean us, even if he want it. Our fates and destinies book are in his hand, not on your hands. The blonde pointed at the twin god and goddess, that means both of you, Ototu, Imo-udo. His sky-blue eyes glanced at Enma again, we have to choose our path so we will gain our final destiny, without father help.
Very true, Shikami-kun, said Tenno Kami-sama softly. Told you. Shikami smirked at them. Enma scowled at him, Kami frowned. Seimei, the god of humanity, titled his head slightly, dear brother, what we have to do? Right now, our families are in the middle of massacre, and the longer we're here, our number will be reduced greatly, and this will add our work, you know that.
Shikami smiled, Ma, all of you just sit tight and start to organize everything back to normal. And don't complain with more works after this little incident. With that, every single gods and goddess present in there raised their eyebrows. Relax, I know what I have to do to discipline Oni-kun, nay, Chichiyu. Shikami smirked at the Tenno Kami mischievously.
Tenno Kami smirked back at him. I see, you're sure a nosy brat, dear son. Shikami rolled his eyes. You're the one who made me like this, old man. Don't you dare complain about it. If you wanted to blame someone, blame your way of thinking. He heard the Tenno Kami chuckled. Indeed, but if I change it, then I have to rewrite everything. And I know you wouldn't want that to happen, right? Or every predicament that you already see won't happen, and you'll throw a fit at me.
Shikami grinned, too true. He walked away from his little family to open the main door before took a deep breath. Hey, Chichiyu, make sure to make a beautiful body, and mine for me, even thought I already know about it, I just want to make sure. Anything for my dearest heir. Tenno Kami smiled at him, until we meet again, Shikami. Shikami nodded, smirk still on his beautiful face. He nodded at his siblings, see you in the future, little brothers, little sisters. Oh, and Enma, watch for Hueco Mundo for me, and don't break it into pieces, I still need it for future business. And watch your hell. With that, the firstborn disappeared. All of them watched dumbly at where their big brother was stand. Otengu blinked before turned his head toward the Tenno Kami-sama. Chichiyu, don't tell me that he. Tenno Kami-sama smirked at them. Oh yes, the only one who know about the book of fates and destinies for all of you is him, Shikami, the god of death. I know how he found it, but of course I won't tell you. One god knew it is enough.
And he knew what we have to do. Then why he have to wait until the last seconds to reveal it? Said Kami, she frowned at that.
Oh, did he reveal whatever he has to do to all of you? So all of you can do whatever he has to do to Oni? Asked the father. Enma's eyes widened. He wasn't telling us anything.
Tenno Kami-sama nodded. His smirk grew bigger. But why? Asked the god of hell, again.
Because, the only one who have the power to stop Oni from destroying your living place is he, and only he, answered him. I have my reason to make the god of death first than the goddess of life, Kami, and god of humanity, Seimei. That's because, I knew that this will happen, of course, answered the Tenno Kami-sama easily. He laughed merrily before he disappeared into a thin air, back to his own chamber in his own palace that only the Shikami knew. Wait, if Aniu read our books too, as well as the great books, that's mean he knew about our conversations in here. Enma rolled his eyes at what Tengu said, of course. Damn, and what was he meant by giving him a beautiful body, and all?
Kami, who was standing up and walked toward the door to take a peek, eyes widened in fear. For the love of Chichiyu. Aniue, she screamed.
Right before all of them managed to run to her, they felt enormous pure spiritual pressure that they sure no gods or goddess could match came from the outside. On the next second, they saw a bright light shone and engulfed the Oni that was a few meters from the main door of the palace. When Kami and her brothers and sisters opened their eyes, they saw nothing but an array in blood on the floor. End dream. Blue eyes flickered open, she blinked slowly to adjust her vision. That's the first time I got that dream after years living as human, she thought slowly, tried to not wake her two Zanpakuto spirits. Once she removed the blur on her eyes, Naruto glanced slightly to her left then to her right, she found two person that she loved the most. Baya, Kuya, Hisa, Na, she said softly yet hoarsely because the lack of moisture in her throat. She coughed harshly when she tried to call their name a little bit louder. This made the man of her life woken up. Byakuya went to her side instantly right after he heard her coughed harshly. Naru, he said softly, tried to subdue his panic. Naruko's shivery hand waved slowly. I'm, cough okay, water. She backed to coughed roughly.
Byakuya went to the side desk not far from their bed and then poured a glass of warm water before back to his wife's side. He helped her to sit then put the tip of the glass on her slightly parted lips. Slowly, he said softly.
Naruko sipped her drink slowly. Once she thought it's enough to wet her throat, she smiled warmly at Byakuya. How long?
3 days, cut Byakuya. He still didn't want his future wife use her voice yet, at least after her doctor said otherwise. Byakuya hugged the goddess tightly before nuzzled her head with his left cheek. Don't you dare doing something rash again. You hear me? I can't forgive myself if you leave me here, Naruko, and I'll kill myself eventually. Byakuya hugged the girl more tightly, he was afraid if she'll disappeared once he let her go.
Naruko smiled, she kissed the future clan head and captain lovingly on his left cheek. All right, I hear you, and I won't do something like that again, she said softly. Her eyes landed on the small girl who still slept on her left side. She's the person that I supposed to meet that day. I know, she told me. He cut her again. I'm sorry, I won't jump into conclusion before hear your explanation ever again. Byakuya let her go then bowed deeply like he bowed to the king himself. The blonde-haired girl chuckled slightly. Raise your head, Kuchiki Byakuya, I already forgave you. Byakuya raised his head before stared at those blue eyes of hers. Naruko, please, be my wife, he said softly while took out a beautiful white gold ring with pink diamond on it. Blue eyes widened at that. That, not expensive, just answer my. Yes, of course. What? I said yes, Byakuya-kun, I'll marry you. She smiled at him warmly. But, where you'll put the ring? If you remembered, I still have the old one on my finger. Byakuya raised his eyebrows elegantly. That's easy, princess. His hand took the shikami's and then took out the ring and changed it with his. There, problem solved. Naruko chuckled at her future husband antic. Yes, so true. Her eyes stared at the ring that reside on his hand, she smiled warmly before back to Hisana. Byaku. I know, the document's finished already, just need your approval and she'll be our first daughter. Byakuya cut her again. Don't cut my words, Byaku. She pouted at her fiancé. Byakuya laughed softly at that. Anyway, thank you, what about the elders? They have no problem. They actually agreed. Since Hisana obviously a good child and noble material, they agreed instantly. Not because I pick her, right? Asked Naruko, eyebrows raised in question manner.
The soon-to-be clan head shook his head elegantly. We nobles have prophecies, and one of the prophecies are about outside souls to help Kuchiki clan to shine even more. Or something like that. Byakuya shrugged at this. I'm not that good with this thing. Anyway, since they said souls, I think Hisana is not the only one that you'll pick up, is she?
The blonde-haired Shikimi just smirked at him before winked teasingly.
More paperwork, great, Byakuya could feel headache coming.
Naruto laughed softly at that. 3 months after Byakuya made into captain.
Naruto blinked at the person in front of her. She took a deep breath before glanced at his soon-to-be husband in a week. Explain please. Why in every good deity in every universe he is here?
Byakuya coughed slightly. Do you know him? Naruto just gave her fiancé a glare. Right, Byakuya frowned at that. The person in front of them smiled slightly. If you can explain to Naru-chan here, I can. No need. Anyway, Naru, this is Uchiha Itachi. I know who he is, love, but why is he here? The dark-haired man glanced at the Uchiha in question manner. First, he's my fellow captain of 3rd Division, and he's also my friend, and he's second heir of Shihuin clan, right after Yoruichi. The noble man cleared his throat. Second, how do you know each other? Naruto scowled at the smirking Uchiha. Itachi chuckled. Before that, hello again Kuchiki Namikaze Naruto, I'm Shihuin Uchiha Itachi at your service. Itachi bowed at her slightly. Once Naruto waved at him to sit straight, Itachi smirked again. His eyes turned to Byakuya. How I know your future wife? It's easy, my friend, I once tried to abduct her when we're in the living plane. Byakuya raised his eyebrows at that. You don't want to know, believe me, said Naruto, snorted at Itachi's simple explanation. Ignoring Naruto's statement, Itachi spoke again with amused tone. My ex-crazy higher-up want the Biju that sealed in Naruto's body. He planned to revive the pet of the great devil, the 10-tailed beast to destroy the elemental countries in our dimension. But I don't want to kill her, so I let her live. I wonder how you end up here, Naruto. Your bastard of a brother killed me, Itachi, said Naruto easily. Itachi and Byakuya raised their eyebrows. Oh, mind explaining to us? Not really. Sasuke killed me with Chidori. Why? I guess it's because of Madara's influence. I know that he wasn't in the right state of mind that time. Your employer sure a crazy man, she mumbled the last part in disdain. Anyway, he's not alone. The villagers, who majority hates me with passion, help him doing it. Itachi nodded at that. Pity, and I thought he'll smart enough to not to follow that crazy man. What do you expect? Madara have eternal Magenkyo Sharingan, he got experiences, and he cheats death for a long time now. In humans' eyes, he's basically immortal. Every sane and or smart human won't push their luck, you know. Naruto snorted at her own explanation. Too true. And who is this Madara? Asked Byakuya to them. Naruto shrugged her shoulder. Ask Itachi, he knew everything about him. Itachi snorted at that. He's an old man, ancient old man who have tendencies to inflict physical harms and various crimes like chunk some body parts of his own family. At this, Byakuya's face paled. Fortunately I don't have his blood in my veins, I have Izuna's. He sounds glad at that little fact. Byakuya now the one who snorted, but you're still his relative. Not anymore, I'm part of Shihuin now I assure you. They do blood ritual if you don't know. The new Shihuin scoffed, I'm still using the Uchiha name just as reminder of my past mother and father. Talking about your mother and father, what about the rest of Uchiha? Asked Naruto softly.
Itachi shrugged at that. They stays in 3rd West Rokugai with the rest of the clan except the elders. Those damn old coots were going to hell instantly, you know?
Ha, serves them right. How dare they use Fugaku-san like a puppet to gain what they want, cut Naruto. If I'm right, isn't Shisui and Obito of Shinigami Kido Corps part of the said clan? Asked Byakuya to the man. Itachi nodded at him. Yeah, Obito is my ex-uncle, and Shisui used to be my best friend. Actually he's still one of my best friends for your information. Black eyebrows rose elegantly. You're my best friend, of course. Said Itachi hurriedly at that. Honestly, Byakuya, no need to be so defensive over something like that. You know that I won't cheating on you. He winked at Byakuya, who paled at that. What was that? Asked the enraged Shikimi. Felt the ki of the Shikimi. Itachi gulped nervously. Of course not in that way. Naru. Easy. I'm normal. Okay. You better be, or I'll castrate you alive. Naruto puffed her anger away. She hugged the man arm tightly at that. He's mine. Byakuya blushed at Naruto's statement. Itachi rolled his eyes. Right after that, the door was opened by certain girl. Ha how. I bring the sweets. Naruko smiled warmly at the girl. Thank you my dear, come here, put it there and greet the guest, please. Hi, how. Itachi mumbled something to Byakuya, you're not married yet and you have a daughter already. Adopted, you good for nothing friend of mine, said Byakuya coldly. Oh, Itachi still not took a glance at the girl, his eyes stared at Byakuya's stoic face. Naruko's voices broke the silence. Itachi, this is Kuchiki Hisana, my adopted daughter. Itachi turned his head, he smiled softly at the girl and opened his mouth, but he stopped at that. His eyes widened. Kuchiki Hisana Dezu, Dozo Yoroshi. The young girl bowed politely at him. She smiled warmly at Itachi. The said man was petrified. In front of him was the most beautiful person, or soul, that he ever met. Shihuin, Itachi Uchiha. I mean Shihuin Uchiha Itachi, said Itachi quickly. And the pleasure is all mine, Hisana Haim. Hisana blushed at that before she excused herself in hurry. Naruko snickered at that. Byakuya glared at his friend. Don't you dare ever think about it, said the clan's head heatedly, I know your eyes. Itachi smirked at Byakuya, are you saying something, Byakuya-sama? I don't like your tone, at all. Itachi's smirk grew wider. 1 week had been passed, and today is the day. Byakuya smiled slightly at his new wife. He kissed her cheek softly before back to greet their guests. In fact, they had not that much guests. They only invite the Shihuin clan head family, the Uchiha clan head family, the 1st Division Taiko, some of Byakuya's and Naruko's acquaintances, as well as Naruko's mortal mother and her new husband, who was ironically her ex-uncle, Namikaze Minato. For your information, Namikaze Ryuichi was reincarnating already. The party wasn't that big, they held it in secret. But the fact that Byakuya no longer a single man already spreads like wildfire nowadays. Naruko, can you tell Itachi to back off from our daughter? Asked the desperate Byakuya once he knew that Itachi was hitting on Hisana. Naruko smirked at that, if I were you, I won't worrying about that, what you'll worry is certain strawberry head. Byakuya just raised his eyebrows at that before he nodded at Yoruichi who waved at them. I don't want to know. That's better, murmured Naruko at him. The Shikami grinned at Yoruichi. Yoru-chan. Hey, Byakuya Bo, Naru Haim. Yoruichi grinned at them, congrats. Finally, this stone-faced jerk getting married. I hope you can turn his face into normal one, nay, Haim. Naruko laughed at that, Byakuya scowled at her. Of course, Yoru-chan. By the way, I think you'll call us, parent-in-law in the future. Hey, Ototu is hitting on little Hisana? Asked the dark-skinned woman. The princess of Kuchiki clan nodded at her still grinned. Yep. Ma, I guess, but I still call him Byakuya Bo. She pointed at Byakuya's nose. Whatever, vulgar woman, said the man, annoyed. Yoruichi grinned again, ignoring the insult, and then they fell into heated discussion on how to torture certain Shihuin Uchiha man. Itachi, who was with Hisana, shuddered slightly, why I have this foul feeling. Tenno Kami watched his son-turned-daughter amusingly. He couldn't decide whether he have to laugh or keep his smirk. Ma, if you keep doing that, I don't think my son-in-law will be happy. Shut it, you senile old man. Naru shouted at him, ignoring the fact that this old man was the Tenno Kami. Why, I did what you want, but why? Why what? His innocent act was convincing, you know. Why you have to add more work for me to retrieve my power and rights back? Isn't it obvious? The blonde goddess shrieked in despair, give me a grandbaby. That was the last deal. Not to help mortals with their problem. That's not even in my book. It wasn't. Tenno Kami smirked at that. He took out his white paper fan and hid his smirking lips behind it. But I'm pretty sure I put it there. Yes, you put it there, but not as one of the deal. Tenno Kami raised his eyebrow elegantly. Ma, you have to read it slowly, clearly, attentively next time then. Naru narrowed her eyes dangerously. You change it, she deadpanned. Ma, look at the time. I have to go. JYA, Naruko. The he disappeared into thin air. Naruko yelled in anger. Damn you senile old man. 1.5 years later. Byakuya walked as quickly as he can, no shuanpo used. If you happen saw him, You could saw his face tensed and sometime his eyebrows twitched dangerously. Why? He was annoyed. The one and only newly appointed Fukuteku of 5th Division, Ichimaru Jin, wouldn't leave him alone. The brat was following him like plague he was. Nay, Kuchiki Taiko, I can go to your house right. Nay, nay, nay. Get lost, he hissed. Jin backed a little, or else. Byakuya pulled out his Senbon Sakura a little. Jin gulped nervously. He may be strong, but he wasn't strong enough to defeat the so-called captain alone, at least. Ma, he waved his hand in defeated manner. No violence, okay. He chuckled nervously. Oh my, I think I hear Aizen Taiko calling me. So ya, and he ran away faster than you could say. Death. Byakuya sighed in content and relief at the same time. He didn't know what he would do to the poor lad if he ticked him off like that. He wondered how in heaven's name a soul like him managed to get under his skin so easy. But after thinking about certain Shihu and Uchiha, he scowled slightly. He just could hope that both of them never been relative in their previous lives. Damn them all, he mumbled to himself. Gods know why he let Shihu and Sama took that bastard in the first good place. He grumbled to himself until he felt someone link their hand on his shoulder suddenly. He jumped a little. Yo, Byakuya, what are you up to? Asked the person. The said clan head glared at him. What are you doing here, Itachi? Nothing. Just wanted to know, you heard about the rumors yet? Itachi said casually. About the 10th Division captain. Yes, I heard he's friends of Urahara and Yoruichi. Do you think he knows something? Oh, definitely, since he was meeting your wife exactly a week ago asking about something. My source couldn't find what was it, and when I asked her, she outright denied my request, even when Shotaicho had his words in it too. Itachi tapped his chin. She knew something, right? Byakuya gave him an air. You stupid, look. She's a god, or goddess to be exact. Itachi blinked slowly. Oh, right. He grinned sheepishly. Well, can't you ask her about the truth? I was, but she said that she couldn't meddle with mortals' business. He sighed before threw the invading hand on his shoulder away. Unless she does it by her own will, we're on our own, and Shotaicho know that from the beginning. The dark-haired Shihuan nodded in understanding. Anyway, aside from that, do you think Onichan and his boyfriend and his Fukuteku really did it? Byakuya snorted. Do you think she and that idiot and the idiot's little freak show could betray them? Last time I checked, they are best of best friends. I don't think they could do it to them. Moreover, indeed Urahara was the one who begun the research, but he told me that he'll destroy it immediately, since he knew that it's way too dangerous for his taste. Whoa, Byakuya, that's the longest speech that you ever made, he teased the clan head, smirked amusedly. Shut up. Anyway, father wasn't happy at all. But he trusted Nichan's judgment, so, he left it hanging. Is she still the heir? No, I am, but I wish she will back soon, he said, ignoring the raising confusion from his ex-classmate. Being a clan heir is suck, he deadpanned. His fellow captain snorted. Tell me about that. Father removed her status and privileges of the heir, but she still can come back and ask for helps if something happens, he said casually. Maybe I'll help her under one condition. Being the next clan head. You know me, Byakuya, he smirked. Byakuya sighed again. His pale hand massaged his temple, and he could feel his annual headache coming whenever he talked with Itachi. I have my suspicion that she ran with Urahara because she don't want to become the clan head. Itachi chuckled silently. I know. That of a sister. I'm so going to make her living in hell once she gets back. HMPH. Like you can do that. Your last score with her was 50 to 105, you lost to her more than 50%. Oh, sod off, Kuchiki, don't open old wounds, please. Hardly, that is the truth anyway, Byakuya snorted again. Itachi growled a little before smirked, finding a way to rile the Kuchiki clan head up. Hey, as if you're better. You're always lost to her in a game of tag, weren't you, Byakuya? Byakuya stopped his step. Dark aura surrounded his feature. Ha, he glared at him with his infamous, I'll send you to the 7th gate of hell, glare. Okay, hey, there, Byakuya, we're friends, you were mocking me, and I just pay you back. We're even. No violence, Itachi said immediately. He might beat him, but he didn't want to face certain blonde's wrath. Thank you very much. Byakuya tched before he walked away. Are you here just to say that? Nope, Itachi said while gazed at the sky. I just wanted to warn you about something. And what is it? Keep an eye on Ichimaru Jin, Itachi said seriously, he gives me this bad vibes. He gazed at Itachi silently. He knew that Amaterasu and Susanoo, Itachi's twin Zanpakuto, give that kind of power to their wielder. Byakuya nodded in understanding. By the way, who know about my wife? Every people that came to your wedding and the red teams as well as former 10th Division captain. And for your information, Urahara never knew her. Byakuya nodded in approval. And about her status. Her mortal parents, your parent, hers as well as my acquaintances, Shotaicho, and the red team. I see. By the way, you're so short-tempered today, something's up. Short of, he sighed again, that snake. Jin, Byakuya nodded. He was spying on me. I see. Yeah, well, he stopped once he saw a familiar figure walked towards Rokungai's path, Naru. Huh, Itachi blinked. He then followed his best friend's eyes. Naruko. With Naruko. Meanwhile, Naruko who walked to the Rokungai wondering whether she will find someone else from Shinobi Dimension or no in there. She heard from Yamamoto when he visited her last week, that there were some people from Shinobi Dimension who had strong Reiatsu came. She wondered who. Yamato said that they were going to the academy soon. Besides she wanted to make sure, she also wanted to find Hisana's little sister. She said that she left her when she was a child, and Hisana felt so guilty about it. So she asked her if it's okay to adopt her too. And Naruko said, yes, while Byakuya. He tried not to cry because he broke another rule again. But hey, who dare oppose Naruko? No one, not even Yamamoto dares to oppose her. And nobody outside or inside the clan except her mother, stepfather, as well as her parent-in-law and Yamamoto himself and some acquaintances, knew about her status as the death god, Shikami. So, back to Naruko, she walked till she saw a familiar figure wearing a red academy uniform near an old house not far from her. Why, she seems familiar. Hisana ka, thought Naruko. It was the first day for all freshmen, she knew that. Wait, if it's Hisana, but she's don't have Reiatsu. Maybe. She is her little sister. Naruko walked to the little girl. It seems she's talking with somebody else, a red-haired guy with weird tattoo everywhere. Oi, Renji, hurry up, I don't wanna be late on our first day. The Hisana look-alike little girl yelled at the guy. Wait, let me finish this thing then off we go. Then the Renji guy was shuffling something. There, done. Okay, let's go. Ohio gozaimasu, said the blonde Shikami to them. Whoa, Renji and Rukia yelped. Nice reply. It's, good morning to you too, I presume. Teased Naruko while she grinned madly at the two kids. Rukia stared at her. Ah, hi, Ohio gozaimasu. Can we help you, miss? Naruko grinned madly. Well, yes, may I know what your name is? The two young Shinigami apprentices stared at her suspiciously. The woman teenage-like Shinigami in front of her only grinned at them wickedly. Rukia watched her clothes. She wore white shinakusho with black haori hung loosely, and a white scarf on her neck, protecting her from the cold. It showed them that she's one of the Kuchiki clan house. And two katana hung on her hip. Relax, I won't bite you, or kidnap you or something, I just wanted to make sure if you have a sister named Hisana, said Naruko while hid her hand inside her white shinakusho. Rukia's eyes widened. You know where my sister is. Naruko nodded. Yes, so I presume that you are her missing sister then. Yes, my name is Rukia. And he is Renji, and we are not brother-sister. Oh, I know that, dear, there's no similarity. Silly. The redhead only scratches head. So, miss, where is Rukia's sister? Oh, I'll tell you later. Now, you're late for your first day. Quote. Shit, you're right, Rukia, come on. And Renji grabbed the poor girl's hand and started to run to the academy. Wah, wait Renji, I'll meet you later, yelled Naruko to them. She shook her head then sighed. Kids, now you may come out, Byakuya, Itachi. Byakuya and Itachi merged out from their hiding place. Naru, Byakuya greeted her with small smile before came closer to give her a peck kiss on her cheek. Yo, Harem, Itachi said, gave her a mock salute. Who are they? Still in Byakuya's arms, Naruto chuckled. That was Renji and Rukia. Rukia? Asked both of them. Byakuya stared down at his wife, as in Hisana's little sister name, Rukia. Naruto nodded once again. Her smile, if it's possible, became wider. Aren't it great? Itachi's sweat dropped when he saw Byakuya just frozen up like that and done nothing but nodded dumbly at Naruto. Oh man, he's so whipped. Meanwhile, Konohagakure no Sato, Hokage Tower. Sakura glared at the person in front of him, hard. Oh how she hated the man with passion. She gritted her teeth in anger, fist clenched, and eyes narrowed dangerously behind her cat Anbu mask. She walked right behind the man with two other male ANBUs, one with deer mask and the other with dog mask. Behind them, another Anbu in wolf mask, dolphin mask, and bird mask also walked silently, monitoring the three so they would not give the man in front of them bodily harms. The man that led them into the Hokage office ignored them all the way. He knew that they wanted to rip him into pieces, especially Sakura, Kakashi, Iruka, Yamato and this certain Sai guy. He could care less anyway. He's strong enough to take Itachi and Orochimaru down, he's strong enough to beat them all. At least that was what in his mind. Once they're in front of the Hokage office, Sasuke, the man who led them, pushed the door rather roughly. Tsunade, who was staring at her paperwork, frowned in distaste once she saw who was disturbing her. What? Black Cat, captain of Squad S of Root, said Sasuke coldly, opened his cat mask with black design on its eyes and cheeks and pointy ears. Inu of Squad OO of Anbu, said Kakashi, bowed at her. He slides open the hood of his bone-white coat, which showed that he's the captain of the squad, and took off his infamous trademark dog Anbu mask. And Flame Cat of Black Ops Squad of Anbu, said Sakura too. She was also slide open her blood-red coat's hood and took off his cat mask with designs like Sasuke's but in blood-red colors. Come to report, Hokage-sama. All of them said in unison and then bowed deeply, including Sasuke, since he knew that Tsunade could beat him easily. Tsunade nodded in approval. Hand your report to Shizune here, she said, ignored the only Root member present, so. Your student tried to harm me again, said Sasuke coldly with hint of disgust and anger in it. The Hokage smirked at that. Nice to hear that, Uchiha. And good job, Sakura. Even though it's a little bit disappointing that he's still alive, it's still an accomplishment, she said to her. Sakura and the others were smirking smugly. Sasuke growled in anger before standing up. Apparently I don't have business with you anymore, Uchiha. You may leave this office, she said while gave the Uchiha a hard, cold glare. The said man shunshined away without saluted at her. Damn brat. Kakashi, sealed this office. I don't want enemies overheard our meeting. Yes, Lady Tsunade, he said formally before made the necessary hand signs. Ninpu. Shell of Genbu technique. And instantly, the room surrounded by a cube-like Kekai and, imagine X1999 dragons of Earth. Or Heaven, Kekai. There you go, he gave her an eye smile. Tsunade grinned at him back. Nice, Kakashi, she said easily before back stared at Sakura. Honestly Sakura, I hope you try harder next time. Knowing what was her shisho talking about, she scowled slightly. Oh, don't worry, I will. Even I'll help you out if you give me the plan. Shikamaru dropped his mask, same like the others. The three Anbu dropped their mask and hood, revealed Iruka, Neji and Kiba. Hiya, I saw you did that wicked accident punch on him, Sakura-chan. I think it'll work if you do it when he's concentrating on his opponent, not when he's already finishes them off. Kakashi gave them an eye smile again. Right, Kakashi. Iruka rolled his eyes. And why don't you do that then? Hun, seriously, I don't want to receive big whack from my ex-student here. The silver-haired Junin whined to his lover. Kakashi-sensei is right. If he did that, I'll give him a nice full blow slap. I wanted to be the one who kill him. Sakura giggled gleefully. Neji smiled. Yeah, and maybe I can have some parts of his body for Hiyashi-sama, Hanabi-chan, and Hinata-Heim. Then the smile turned into big wicked grin that could creep the hell out of the Enma himself. Tsunade nodded. It's 1.5 years already. I wonder if she's happy out there. She smiled sadly. Everyone knew that Naruto was a girl now. Tsunade and Jiraiya revealed it to them after the burial. Everyone was totally shocked. Uzumaki Naruto actually was Namikaze Kuchiki Uzumaki Naru. A girl, Ona Dezu, female. And everyone, I mean everyone, including Sasuke and his acquaintances, screaming, "What?" out loud. Shizune squeezed her shoulder softly. Tsunade Haim, I'm sure that she's happy. Yeah, everybody smiled sadly. If only Kami-sama give me one wish and Kami-sama make it happen. I wish to meet Naruko-chan again. And hold her and told her that I love her, Tsunade said sadly. Now, they watch the mighty Godime cry. They never knew that certain Kami smiled at them, and whispering, your wish going to be granted, by father, just wait, and she loves all of you too. 2.5 years later, Siraiti, Kuchiki clan main household. Byakuya massaged his temple, tried to ease the incoming headache. He knew that today would come eventually, he just wished it would be later than sooner. Come again. I'm here to ask your permission to marry my first daughter, cut the 6th Division Taiko. He glared hard at his fellow Taiko. And pray tell, Shihuan Uchiha, why should I let you marry my daughter? You're as old as me, for Tenno Kami-sama's sake. Are you a pedophile? Okay, Byakuya had lost it. He finally snapped. Itachi rolled his eyes. Of course no, but honestly, Kuchiki, aren't you a noble? I think you understand the time difference between each dimensions, he deadpanned. I don't mind remind you about this little problem. Anyway, technically, she's only couple of years younger than me, that if you count it by using my dimension calculation. But if we use her dimension, I'm around 200, and she'll be around 160 or something. Byakuya sighed in defeat. He glanced at his family. Naruko. I say let him marry her, she said while sipped her tea. Right, Rukia-chan. Shiro-chan. Rukia smiled weirdly. Tushiro, dubbed Shiro-chan, twitched. How? Please refrain for calling me that, he said, annoyed by the nickname that his adopted mother gave. Why? I found it cute. It's girly, childish, and most importantly, have no dignity or respect in it, he deadpanned. Naruko just raised her eyebrows elegantly before smiled at him again. But, honey, you're still a child and still in academy. You're nothing but a kid for me. Well, even though you're a captain already, you are and always will be my kid, she said, emphasis the kid word. Felt like thousands knives stabbed him. Tushiro admit his defeat. Fine, he grumbled silently. Just give him the go, Otusan, I need to help Rukia-nisan obtain her Bankai. The said young girl chuckled nervously at Tushiro's coldness. Byakuya sighed, you're my son, Tushiro, my heir. You shall be more respectful toward your father. Tushiro rolled his eyes, oh come on, you did the same thing to grandfather. I merely follow your step in coldness, Otusan, he told his adoptive father heatedly. Why can't you follow the good things? Byakuya mumbled to himself. Naruko grinned, Ma, that's your own fault, you're the one who told him to wear a mask that he's comfortable with. It happens to be your icy bastard mask. Naruko, language, please. You're a death god, her husband scolded her firmly. Anyway, Itachi. Yes, why do you, so interested with our daughter? Byakuya asked him. He put his serious face in place. The ex-shinobi grinned at them, beamed. Simple, she's everything that I look for. Nice, soft-spoken, honest, patient, graceful, she has this perfect mother personality. Moreover, she's powerful enough to protect herself and her kits if I'm not around. Itachi declaration made certain woman blushed brightly. She was flattered. Hantu ka, you see me that worthy? Hasana said softly, but not afraid to hear his answer. Yes, and you're more than worthy. You're more than everything, Hasana Haim, he answered her firmly, smile on his face. Hasana blushed again. Itachi-sama, she said softly. Hasana, he said softly too. All of them cooed by the sight, well, except Byakuya and Tushiro of course. Byakuya, since he's the clan head and the well-known cold-heartless Taiko of Gotei Jusantai, he wouldn't and couldn't cooed over something like this, would he? And Tushiro, oh come on, THIS as Kuchiki Hitsugaya Tushiro were talking about. Anyway, Byakuya twitched slightly. He's really tempted to strangle his ex-classmate so bad. Naruto chuckled when he saw Byakuya's expression. Now, I say it's okay. I approve. Byakuya snapped his head at his wife. But, oh come on, are you prefer Hisana going out with Kisame? What? Now the two black-haired males shouted out loud. What do you mean by Kisame, Naruto? Itachi asked her. Anger rose. Naruto just chuckled. Kisame has been. Let's just say that he's in good term with our little Hisana here. Hisana blushed slightly when she saw Naruto winked at her. The clan head blanched slightly. Fine, then I approve. Byakuya said instantly. Itachi might be the brother of someone who made his wife living in hell, but he was 100% sure that Itachi's way better than Kisame. No, he's being racist here, but please. Are you sane enough to pair sweet innocent little Hisana with a blue-skinned man-shark with rude behaviors and no tact named Kisame? Byakuya can't imagine his grandchildren appearance is gonna look like. Oh the nightmare. Anyway, back at the task at hand. As fast as they heard Byakuya's approval, Toshiro stand up while holding Rukia's hand and bolted out from the room, murmured about training and Bankai. Itachi pounced Hisana, then kissed her and then took her out. Naruto smiled warmly at them as they gone to their own devices. She turned her head cutely to Byakuya. Anata, do you know how much I love you? She asked him as she leaned closer, lips only 3 centimeters from the other's lips. A lot, Byakuya answered, smirked a little. More than a lot, she murmured and then leaned further in order to claim Byakuya's lips. And the heated make-out season begun. Somewhere in Kuchiki's private training ground. Rukia, with her black Shinigami gear, held her Zanpakuto close. Are you ready, Toshiro-kun? Toshiro rolled his eyes. Just begin. And their Zanpakuto clashed. They were sparring in the private training go-run since Toshiro adopted by the Kuchiki. They're quiet close, actually, however, even though Rukia are known as Kuchiki Rukia, and Toshiro or Kuchiki Toshiro, the adoptive children of the Kuchiki clan head, there are not many people who knew that fact. Outside the clan, and some others close friend of the Kuchiki, they were known as Kuchiki Rukia, the youngest sister of Kuchiki Byakuya and the 3rd seed of 13th Division, and Hitsugaya Toshiro, the genius prodigy after Uchiha Itachi, issued that he's going to be the next Taiko. They hide everything well. Nobody knew that they were part of the Byakuya happy little family. Nay, Toshiro, it's been 3 years since our first meeting, right? The white-haired boy nodded. Yeah, what is it? When Hahao died. The white-haired boy squinted his eyes. If I'm not mistaken, when she's 17. That's mean. She married at 18, yes. Yeah, I guess. And she adopted Hisana Nisan too. 2 years later she adopted me, then you. And it's been 3 years we stay in the same house. And how old are you? Counting from my dimension, I'm 94, that's mean, it has here 82 years already. Yep, and I'm more than 150 years, Onisan too. And I bet Shichiyu age around 300 or something. Toshiro, which was defending himself from Rukia stabs, blinked. Yeah, 300 in this R dimension prediction, but in here, he is around 27 or something. And you're still 12. And I'm 16 for the rest of my life. Che. Be glad, sister, at least you're taller than me until the end of the world. Toshiro scowled. Toshiro never pouted. The elder sibling laughed. Hell yeah, that's so right. She smiled at her brother. So, are you tell Hinamori already? Toshiro shook his head while attacking his sister. Nope, not going to happen. Anyway, by my calculation, that mean our mother way much younger than us. Right, I'm thinking the same too. Clang. They stopped their move. That was good exercise. Let's go. I got mission tomorrow, and you have your last exam right. Toshiro nodded. Oi, Nisan, can you ask mother how old is she? If she's really the Shikami, then she's indeed much older than the rest of us. I'll try. You better not ask her that, said someone behind them. Both of them turned their head. Tusen, Kuchiki Taiko, remember, or your mother going to spank you. Right, sorry about that, Kuchiki Taiko. Toshiro rolled her eyes. Rukia smiled. Nisama. She giggled. Don't laugh, blame your mother. Byakuya sighed. And please, be smart and don't ask her about her true age, believe me, she's an Oni if you ask her that. Both of them gulped. How did you know this? I was asking her 3 years ago, right before she told me that she found you, Rukia. And I had to sleep on the guest room for the rest of the week, a big bump on my head, red cheek, and some friendly bruises from her. Dearest, Zanpakuto. Believe me, you don't want to mess with the Lord of Underworld. Byakuya sighed. Wait a minute, how Zanpakuto is the spirit of the Lord of Underworld? Asked the boy. Yes, why we never heard about it? Rukia asked, shocked by the news. Byakuya, with his infamous expressionless face, answered, because you never asked. Well shit, said Tushiro. Whack, it, Nani o, Rukia Nisan. Language, boy, Rukia scolded her brother. Both males rolled their eyes. Woman. Just get back to the academy. Byakuya sighed. Rukia and Tushiro nodded. Oh, Kuchiki Taiko, what are you doing here? Asked Tushiro. None of your business. Oh, and Rukia, take care in the next mission. I heard that the Shinigami who was missing were eaten by them. I don't want your mother go into another rampage. Understood. In other words, take care of yourself. I love you, dear daughter, thought Rukia and Tushiro. Yes, Chichiyu, answered Rukia softly. Then she left them. So, I heard you finally finish your academy, Yeah, only 2 years, thanks to my training, Quote. Yeah, off the record, congratulations, after what happened last year, and because you did finish your Bankai, don't look at me like that, that's my privilege for married the Shikami herself. Don't forget that Hahao scared the shit out of the Shotaicho himself. Ah, yes, that too. Shotaicho-sama going to promote you to 10th Division Taiko. Tushiro smirked. Nice, Ito, Uchiha Taiko. What about him? Byakuya asked, annoyed by the question. Watching his father's expression, he shook his head quickly. Nothing. The white-haired boy walked away before he halted. He frowned, remembering what happened last year. It's only the Shotaicho, his parent and the stupid people in 46 who knew about it. Nay, Chichiyu, he whispered from the door. Byakuya stared at his son, his only heir. Yes, Kusaka. Is he? No, Hahao won't tell me what happened to him. You know why, she doesn't want to hurt you. Beside, she doesn't want to interfere with our mortal business. It's better if you don't know about it, neither the others. Byakuya walked and patted his only son, right now, head and ruffled his hair. Now go back to your dorm. Tushiro gave him a weak smile. Hi, see you later, Kuchiki Taiko. And he Shuunpo Ed, leaving Byakuya alone. The end. Now we will see you in the next video.